You are learning the wrong way. I know that's a bold claim, but let's be honest. You've felt it, haven't you? You felt it last week when you spent 3 hours cramming for a presentation, only to stand in front of your colleagues and feel your mind go blank. You felt it last month when you met a new, important person, and 10 minutes later, their name had vanished from your head. You felt it when you knew you understood a concept in class, but on the exam, the answer simply wasn't there. And if you are learning a new language, you feel it every single day. You learn 20 new words. You write them down 10 times each. Ephemeral, ambiguous, pragmatic. You feel productive. You feel like you're making progress. And tomorrow, 15 of them are gone. You feel frustrated. You feel like you're wasting your time. You start to believe a lie, a myth that has been fed to us. I just have a bad memory. What if I told you there is no such thing as a bad memory? What if I told you that your memory isn't bad, it's just untrained? What if I told you your memory isn't the problem at all? The problem is your method. The problem is that you are trying to fill a bucket that is full of holes. You are pouring information in, and your brain, by its very design, is letting it leak right out. You are fighting against millions of years of evolution, and it's a fight you are guaranteed to lose. But what if there was a different way? What if, instead of fighting your brain, you could work with it? What if you had the user manual, the instruction guide, for your own memory? What if I told you there is a scientifically proven, mathematically precise algorithm for learning anything? A system that knows exactly how your brain is designed to forget and uses that design to force you to remember. A system that can predict the exact moment you are about to forget a piece of information and then presents it to you just seconds before it's gone. This isn't science fiction. This isn't a cheap learning hack you'll see in a 30-second video. This is a fundamental law of human memory, discovered over 100 years ago, and it is the single most powerful learning tool ever devised. It's called spaced repetition. Today, we are not going to learn a memory trick. Tricks are for amateurs. We are going to learn the system. We are going to learn how to fundamentally restructure the way you acquire knowledge. We are going to throw out the old broken methods of cramming and rereading, and we will replace them with a system that is efficient, permanent, and works. This is a masterclass. This will be long, it will be detailed, and it will require your full attention. But by the end of this session, you will no longer be a person who crams and forgets. You will be an architect of your own memory. So, get ready to take notes. We have a lot to cover. To understand our solution, we must first understand our problem. And our problem, our enemy, has a name. It's called the forgetting curve. In the 1880s, a pioneering German psychologist named Hermann Ebbinghaus did something no one had ever done. He decided to scientifically measure the act of forgetting. His experiment was simple, but grueling. He created thousands of nonsense syllables, like zoff, cax, or weed, and forced himself to memorize them. He did this because he wanted to test pure memory, untainted by meaning or association, and what he discovered was terrifying. He found that the moment he learned a new list, his brain immediately began to discard the information. He measured that, on average, if you don't review, you will forget 50% to 80% of that new information within just 24 hours. Think about that. You spend an hour in a lecture. You walk out feeling like you understood everything. By this time tomorrow, at least half of it will be gone. Within a week, 90% is gone. Within a month, it's as if it never happened. Now here's the key insight. The part that changes everything. This isn't a flaw. It's not a bug in your brain's code. It's a feature. Your brain is not a hard drive. It is not designed to store everything. Your brain is a survival machine. It is designed to filter. Every single second, your brain is hit with millions of pieces of data. The sound of the air conditioner, the color of the walls, the title of an article, the name of a person you meet once. If your brain tried to remember everything, you would be paralyzed. So, your brain's job is to constantly ask one simple, brutal question. Will this information help me survive? When you memorize ambiguous issue unclear, your brain sees this as a random, disconnected, low-value piece of trivia. It has no emotion, no context, no survival value. So, your brain does its job. It throws the word in the trash to make space for more important things, like, where did I park my car? Or, that stove is hot, don't touch it. This is the forgetting trap. You study, you forget. You study more, you forget more. You get frustrated, you quit. Your traditional study method, the list, the cramming, the brute force memorization, is a direct fight against your brain's core programming. You cannot win that fight. Let's go one level deeper. Let's look at the neuroscience. When you first learn something, like a new word, that information is fragile. It's held in your brain's short-term or working memory. The gatekeeper for this is a part of your brain called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is like a temporary sorting office. It holds onto new information, and if the information seems important, it will work to consolidate it, to transfer it to your long-term memory, which is stored in the neocortex. When does this consolidation happen? Mostly when you sleep. This is why cramming is the single worst way to learn. You force-feed your hippocampus for 8 hours. It gets overwhelmed, it can't sort anything, and then you don't sleep. You never give the information a chance to move to long-term storage. You're not learning. You're just holding a mountain of data in a temporary buffer that was designed to be cleared. So, how do we signal to the hippocampus, hey, this is important. Don't delete this. Consolidate it. We can't just tell it. We have to prove it. And we prove it by using the very system that Ebbinghaus discovered. Ebbinghaus wasn't just a pessimist. He didn't just discover that we forget. He dedicated his life to figuring out how we remember. After he discovered the forgetting curve, he asked the next logical question. What happens if I try to relearn the information? He found that the second time he learned a list, it was easier. The forgetting curve was still there, but it was shallower. He forgot slower. Then he reviewed it a third time, and the curve became even flatter. He reviewed it a fourth time, flatter still. He had discovered a monumental secret. Every time you successfully recall a piece of information, the memory of that information gets stronger. But stronger in what way? It's not just that you know it better. The rate of decay, the speed at which you forget it, slows down. This is the spacing effect. Now let's combine this with a second finding. What is the best moment to review? Is it 5 minutes after you learn it, when it's still fresh in your mind? No, that's too easy. Your brain looks at the information and says, I just saw this. It's not important. It's just noise. There's no effort involved. Is it 5 months after you learn it, when the memory is completely gone? No, that's too hard. You're not reviewing it. You are relearning it from zero. The sweet spot, the Goldilocks moment, is that precise point in time just before you were about to forget. It's the moment where retrieving the word is difficult, but not impossible. Memory is built on effort. When you struggle to recall that word, and then you get it, you have just sent the most powerful signal you can possibly send to your brain. The signal is, Pay attention. This information, the one I had to work for, the one that was fading, this information is important for my survival. Do not delete it. And your brain, in response, does something physical. It strengthens the neural pathway for that word. It wraps that connection in more myelin. This is neuroplasticity in action. It's like upgrading a tiny forest path from a dirt track to a paved road. This is the entire theory in a nutshell. 1. We forget things over time. The forgetting curve. 2. The best time to review something is right before we forget it. This is called effortful recall or active recall. 3. Each time we do this, we can wait longer before the next review. The spacing effect. This creates a schedule, an algorithm of expanding intervals. It might look like this. Review 1 after 1 day, review 2 after 3 days, review 3 after 7 days, review 4 after 16 days, review 5 after 35 days, and so on. This is spaced repetition. It's not studying, it's a calculated surgical strike against the forgetting curve. It's the difference between cramming and learning. Cramming, or mass practice, is what you do for a test. You review the same information 50 times in one night. It works for 24 hours, and then a week later, it's gone. It's like trying to build a brick wall by stacking all the bricks at once without letting the mortar dry. Spaced repetition, or distributed practice, is for life. It's how you build permanent knowledge. You lay one brick, learn the word. You let the mortar, time, almost set. Then, just before it crumbles, you lay the next brick, the first review. You let it set longer. Then, you lay the next. You are building a fortress in your mind. This principle is so powerful. It's often linked to a concept called desirable difficulty. Psychologists found that if learning feels easy, you're probably not learning. Rereading your notes is easy. Highlighting is easy. That's why they are passive and ineffective. Real learning is hard. The struggle to retrieve a memory is the desirable difficulty that signals to your brain that this matters. Spaced repetition automates desirable difficulty. It finds the perfect moment of difficulty for you, over and over again. The theory is beautiful. But how do we do it? How do we manage the schedules for 10,000 different words? For decades, it was a logistical nightmare. But in the 1970s, a German scientist named Sebastian Leitner figured out an ingenious analog system. This is the Leitner box system, and it is brilliant in its simplicity. It's the physical, analog version of the spaced repetition algorithm. For anyone who prefers a hands-on, non-digital approach, this is for you. Here's how you build it. Step 1. Get your materials. You need index cards, not a notebook. Index cards. The entire system depends on the ability to move one single piece of information independently. You also need a box and some dividers. Step 2. Create your levels, the boxes. We are going to create 5 levels of mastery. You will label these sections. Box 1, the new box, review every day. Box 2, the familiar box, review every 3 days. Box 3, the known box, review every week. Box 4, the mastered box, review every 2 weeks. And Box 5, the archived box, review every month. These are your levels. Your goal is to get a card to graduate all the way from Box 1 to Box 5. Step 3. Create your first cards. This is critical. We are not going to make bad cards. A bad card is front, ephemeral. Back, lasting for a very short time. This is a passive card. It's a dictionary. You are only testing recognition. You are going to make an active recall card. A good card is front. The artist creates your archnod art on the beach, knowing the tide will wash it away. Back, ephemeral. Do you see the difference? The first card asks, what do you recognize? The second card asks, what can you produce? This is a challenge. This is effortful recall in action. Step 4, the daily game, the algorithm in action. Now we play. Let's say today is Monday, day 1. You create 10 new active recall cards. They all go into box 1. Tuesday, day 2. Your schedule says, review box 1. You review box 1 every single day. You pick up box 1. You have 10 cards. You look at the first card. The artist creates art. You think. You struggle. Ephemeral. You got it right. It graduates. You move it from box 1 to box 2. You look at the next card. You get it right. It graduates to box 2. You look at the third card. You're stuck. The answer was pragmatic. You failed. What happens to this card? This is the genius of the system. It gets demoted. Any card you fail, at any time, goes all the way back to box 1. This punishment is perfect. The system has just identified a problem word and automatically rescheduled it for daily review. So, on Tuesday, maybe 7 cards graduate to box 2 and 3 fail and stay in box 1. And then on Tuesday, you also add 10 new cards. They also go into box 1. So, at the end of Tuesday, box 1 has 13 cards, 3 failed plus 10 new, and box 2 has 7. Friday, day 5. Today is different. Your schedule says, review box 1 and review box 2. It's been 3 days. So first, you review box 1, then you review box 2. You look at a card from box 2. Ephemeral. You got it right. It has now graduated from box 2 and moves to box 3. Its next review is in 1 week. What if you forgot it? It's a failure. It goes all the way back to box 1. Do you see what's happening? This simple box is a perfectly self-regulating system. Easy words will fly through the boxes. The system automatically gets them out of your way. Hard words will get stuck. They will constantly be demoted back to box 1, forcing you to see them every single day until you stop failing. The system automatically filters your vocabulary for you. It's brilliant. But it has problems. This system, while elegant, is manual. The friction is high. You have to carry a box. You have to manage the schedule. What if you have 5,000 cards? The system collapses. The administration of the system becomes more work than the learning. What if we could keep the logic, but get rid of the friction? This brings us to the 21st century and spaced repetition software, SRS. There are many apps, but one is legendary. It is the gold standard. It is the most powerful, most customizable, and most ruthless SRS in the world. It's not as pretty as the others. It's not a game. It's a professional tool for people who are serious about learning. It's called Anki. Anki is a Japanese word for memorization, but it's an acquisition engine. It is a digital Lightner box on steroids. Here is how it works in detail. Step 1. The setup. You download Anki, free for computers and Android. When you open it, it's blank. This is where most people stop. You will create your first deck, which is just a subject like My English Vocabulary. Step 2. Creating your cards, the fuel. This is the single most important step. Anki is only as smart as the cards you put into it. If you put in bad cards, Anki will efficiently teach you the wrong thing. A bad card, passive recognition, is front, ephemeral, back, lasting for a very short time. You are wasting the power of Anki. A good card, active recall, is front. The artist creates art on the beach, knowing the tide will wash it away. Back, ephemeral. This close deletion, fill in the blank, tests your ability to produce the word. This is 100 times more powerful. But the best card is a rich media card. Anki lets you add images, audio, and more. Remember, our brain hates boring, abstract data. It loves rich, sensory, hot data. A professional Anki card looks like this. Front, text, the artist creates art, image, a photo of a sandcastle being washed away, audio, a recording of the sentence with a beep. Back, text, ephemeral, definition, lasting for a very short time. Example 2. Their celebrity romance was ephemeral. Plus, audio, a recording of the full, correct sentence. This is a weapon. This card is a hot experience. It teaches context, emotion, pronunciation, and collocation. It takes 3 minutes to make a card like this, but one of these cards is worth 100 of the bad cards. Step 3. The review process. The magic of the algorithm. You've made 15 rich cards. You click Study. Anki shows you the front of your first card. You think. You struggle. This is the effort. You think ephemeral. You click Show Answer. Anki shows you the back. You are correct. But Anki is smarter than the Lightner box. At the bottom of the screen, it gives you 3 or 4 buttons. 1, again, 2, hard, 3, good, 4, easy. This is you talking to the algorithm, telling it how difficult that effort was. Again is for failure. Hard means you got it right, but it was a real struggle. Good is the normal button. You got it right after a moment's thought. Easy means the answer was instant. Now, the algorithm reacts. If it's a new card and you click Good, Anki says, "Okay, I will show you this card again. Tomorrow." The interval is 1 day. Now it's tomorrow. You open Anki. You see the same card. You remember ephemeral. You click Good again. Anki doesn't say 1 day this time. It says, "Okay, you got it right yesterday and today. The memory is getting stronger. I will show it to you in 3 days." 3 days later, you see it and click Good again. Anki says, "Wow, this memory is solid. I will show it to you in 7 days." Next time, 15 days. Next time, 1.2 months. Next time, 4.5 months. Next time, 1.1 years. This is the spaced repetition algorithm in action. Anki is your personal memory tutor, managing thousands of cards, each on its own unique expanding schedule, perfectly calibrated to your brain based on your feedback. What if you click hard? Anki adjusts the schedule to be shorter. What if, 4.5 months later, you forget ephemeral? You click again. Anki is ruthless. It assumes the memory has collapsed. It resets the interval. The card is demoted all the way back to the beginning. This is the digital Lightner box, automated. Your job is no longer to manage the system. Your job is reduced to 2 simple daily tasks. 1. Create, add 10, 15 high-quality, rich cards. 2. Review. Clear your due cards for the day. If you do this, you cannot fail. We need to go deeper on this, because this is the part everyone gets wrong. You are now convinced. You download Anki, you're excited, and you start making cards. And it doesn't work. Why? Because your cards are bad. It's not your fault. You haven't been taught. The man who invented the algorithm Anki is based on. Piotr Wozniak spent decades figuring out how to make the perfect flashcard. He calls it formulating knowledge. He came up with the 20 rules of formulating knowledge. You don't need to know all 20, but you must know the core principles. I'm going to give you the big 5 rules for making cards that work. Rule 1. Understand before you memorize. Anki is not a learning tool. It is a remembering tool. If you do not understand a concept, you cannot Anki it. If you find the word ontological and you don't really know what it means, putting it in Anki is useless. Your job is to first learn the concept from a teacher, from a book, from a video. Then you use Anki to make sure you never forget what you learned. First learn, then remember. Rule 2. The minimum information principle. This is the most important. Your cards must be as simple as possible. Look at this bad card. Front. Tell me about the forgetting curve. Just back. Discovered by Ebbinghaus in the 1880s, it's a curve that shows how we forget 50–80% of information in 24 hours. This card is terrible. It's a wall of text. It's not one fact, it's 5. When you fail this card, what did you fail? The date? The name? The percentage? You must atomize the knowledge. Break it down into the smallest possible pieces. Card 1. Front. Who discovered the forgetting curve? Card 1. Back. Hermann Ebbinghaus. Card 2. Front. In what decade was the forgetting curve discovered? Card 2. Back. 1880s. Card 3. Front. The forgetting curve states we forget percent of info in 24 hours. Card 3. Back. 50–80%. These cards are simple, fast, and testable. Rule 3. Use closed deletions. Fill in the blank. This is the fastest way to make good, active recall cards. Anki has a special card type called close. You take a sentence you already understand and you hide the key word. Sentence. Spaced repetition is a learning technique that uses expanding intervals to combat the forgetting curve. You turn this into 2 cards automatically. Card 1. Front. Spaced repetition is a learning technique that uses to combat the forgetting curve. Card 2. Front. Spaced repetition uses expanding intervals to combat the... This is insanely powerful. You are learning the word in context, and you are producing it. Rule 4. Use images. The dual coding theory. This is a 10x multiplier. The dual coding theory states that your brain has 2 channels for processing information. A verbal channel for words and a visual channel for images. When you just have a word on a card, you are only using one channel. When you add a picture of that sandcastle being washed away, you are now using both channels. You have just doubled the number of neural pathways your brain can use to find that memory. Always add an image. Rule 5. Use personal examples. This is how you make it hot. Remember, your brain cares about you. A generic sentence is okay. A personal sentence is permanent. Bad card. Front. What does pragmatic mean? Back. Practical. Good card. Front. My boss is very chartreuse. He only cares about what works. Back. Pragmatic. Permanent. Card. Front. Close deletion. My decision to sell my old car and buy a cheap, reliable one was a very choice. Back. Pragmatic. This last card is linked to your life, your emotions, your car. Your brain cannot delete this. You have proven to it that this word is part of your story. Okay, one last technical detail. You will download Anki and you will discover the settings menu. It's a field of options. New cards, day. Steps, graduating interval, leach threshold. And you will be tempted to optimize it. Do not touch anything. The default settings in Anki are the product of decades of research. They are set that way for a reason. A new user optimizing their Anki settings is like a 16-year-old with their first car trying to retune a Formula One engine. You are not going to make it faster. You are going to break it. The only setting you should ever touch as a beginner is 1. New cards, day. This is your most important safety valve. You get excited. You want to learn 100 new words today, so you set new cards day to 100. You do it for a week. You've added 700 cards, and then the reviews hit. The algorithm is working. All 700 of those cards are now coming back to you. Every 1 day, 3 days, 7 days. You will open your Anki and see 200 cards due. This is called the review avalanche. It's the single biggest reason people quit. They were too ambitious. This is a marathon, not a sprint. My recommendation: start with 10 to 15 new cards per day. Maximum. It sounds small, it sounds slow. 10 words a day, I want to be fluent now. Let's do the math. 10 new words a day, every day for 1 year, is 3,650 new words acquired permanently into your vocabulary. 3,650 active context-rich words. Most fluent native speakers only use 3,000 on 5,000 words in their daily life. You will have built a fluent, native-level vocabulary in 1 year. Slow is fast. Consistency is intensity. Trust the process. Trust the defaults. Anki, the spaced repetition system. It is a perfect machine. But like any powerful machine, it has rules. If you break the rules, the machine will break. It will backfire. I am going to give you the 5 unbreakable rules of the game. Rule 1. Thou shalt be consistent. Spaced repetition is built on time. The algorithm is a schedule. If your schedule says you have 50 cards to review today, you must review those 50 cards. If you skip a day, tomorrow you will have today's 50 cards, plus tomorrow's 50 cards. This is the review avalanche. You must build the habit. Consistency is more important than intensity. It is 100 times better to review for 15 minutes every single day than for 3 hours 1 day a week. Your goal is not to learn English. Your goal is to clear my Anki reviews every day. The learning is the byproduct of the habit. Rule 2. Thou shalt be honest. The entire algorithm is based on your feedback. The again hard, good, easy buttons. It's tempting to cheat. You're pretty sure the answer is ephemeral. You click Show Answer. It was ephemeral. You think, I knew it. And you click Good. You have just lied to the algorithm. You told the machine the memory was strong when it was weak. So the machine will show it to you in 3 months, and you will have 0 chance of remembering it. If you hesitated, the answer is hard. If you got it wrong, the answer is again. There is no shame in clicking again. It's your best friend. It is the button that says, this is a problem word. Help me. Rule 3. Thou shalt not card dump. We just covered this. Limit your new cards. 10, 15 per day. This is a marathon. The person who adds 10 cards a day for 365 days will always beat the person who adds 1,000 cards in 1 weekend and then quits. Rule 4. Thou shalt make good cards. We covered this in the masterclass. Garbage in, garbage out. If your cards are bad, word, use definition, you are wasting your time. Follow the 5 rules of card formulation. 1. Understand first. 2. Minimum information. 3. Use close. 4. Use images. 5. Make it personal. Rule 5. Thou shalt trust the process. You will have good days and bad days. Some days you'll open Anki and feel like a genius. Other days you'll open it and feel like you've learned nothing, and you'll hit again 50 times. This is normal. This is the system working. A bad day where you hit again 50 times is the most valuable day. That is the system finding your weaknesses and fixing them. Do not get discouraged. Clear your reviews. Make your new cards and go to bed. Trust the algorithm. Today, we've pulled back the curtain. We looked at the forgetting trap, that bucket full of holes, and we finally understood why our old methods of cramming and rereading were doomed to fail. We've seen how our brain actually works, and we didn't just find a patch for the holes. We threw that old broken bucket away, and in its place, we have built an engine, a scientifically tuned, algorithm-driven acquisition machine. We built it with the 100-year-old theory of Ebbinghaus. We built it with the simple, analog logic of the Lightner box, and we have supercharged it with the digital power of Anki. We have learned why it works, the forgetting curve. We have learned how it works, the expanding intervals. We have learned what to do, the 5 rules of card creation. And we have learned what not to do, the 5 rules of the game. The machine is built. The system is yours. The lie of I have a bad memory is broken. You are no longer a student who crams and forgets. You are now an architect of your own memory. But the most brilliant machine in the world is useless until you lay the first brick. Your transformation begins today. Your mission is simple, but it is not easy. First, you will make a choice. You will either build your physical Lightner box, or you will download the digital tool, Anki. There is no third option. Second, you will start today, not tomorrow. You will find 5, just 5, new pieces of information you want to learn. Third, you will create your first 5 cards, and they will be beautiful cards. You will not be lazy. You will follow the rules. They will have context. They will be active recall. They will have an image. They will be perfect. Fourth, you will do your first review, and tomorrow you will do it again. You will start the habit. This is the work. This is the grind. But it's not a stupid grind. It's an intelligent grind. It's the most efficient, most powerful, most scientifically validated learning system on the planet. And it's yours. Thank you for your time. Now, go build your fortress.